Hello and welcome to your Friday, December 17th yoga practice. Give yourself a moment, please, to arrive. When I opened my computer this morning, I saw, Google sometimes has the nice Google Doodles, how the images change on the search engine. And today it showed a French female philosopher and mathematician from the 18th century, Emily du Châtelet. If Claire was on, I'd ask her to help correct that pronunciation. Her quote I thought was lovely. Let us be certain of who we want to be. Let us choose for ourselves our path in life, and let us try to strew that path with flowers. I'll read that again if you'd like to take a few deep breaths. Let us be certain of who we want to be. Let us choose for ourselves our path in life, and let us try to strew that path with flowers. As we prepare to move into the weekend, a little time off together, you might call in an intention or visualize how you'd like to see yourself move through the next couple of mornings. And as you're ready, if you'd like, you can draw your hands together in front of your heart. And if you'd like to chant Om, we can imagine perhaps sending that intention out in the world with our vibration. Inhale deeply for Om. And release your hands. You can stay seated exactly as you are, or if you'd like to transition into Thunderbolt pose, you can come to sit on your heels. As always, you have options. You might choose to tuck your toes today, really deeply stretching the feet. Maybe you like to put a block under your seat. I know I do. I like mine on the lowest setting. You could also stack a couple of blocks. That makes this shape a bit more accessible for our knees and thighs. Try to keep your knees about hips distance apart, the hip points. And when you arrive, wherever you're going, sit tall. Breathe deeply. After a breath or two, check in. Notice if you're pressing the tongue to the roof of the mouth or clenching your jaw, and look for softness. Now we can always keep the tip of the tongue lightly connected to the palate, the roof of the mouth. Remember in massage school, they said that that's like an energetic connection point, but we don't want to smash the tongue and create tension. With your next inhale, maybe the crown can float a little higher with the shoulders softening down, core muscles gently drawing back towards the spine, hips anchoring into the earth no matter how you're seated. Slowly drop your chin towards your chest. Inhale here. And as you keep breathing, roll your head to the left ear towards left shoulder. Slowly breathing, roll your head forwards and to the right. Twice more each side. And as you're ready, return your head to neutral. Open your arms out wide. Draw gentle circles with your wrists. If you find a sweet spot where there's a lot of sensation, feel free to pause and breathe. And then switch the direction of the circles you're drawing with your hands and wrists. Pause with your palms pushing away from you, fingertips towards the sky. Draw your shoulder blades together and down. And then try to knit your ribs back, abdominal muscles connected and engaged, so we're not splaying our chest forwards. We're keeping everything hugging into the midline, isolating the movement in our arms and shoulders. Slowly rotate your arms so your fingertips point back behind you, and then down. Breathe deeply here, noticing the sensation you're feeling. And slowly lower your arms. You might pick up and drop your shoulders, shrugging them, shake out the arms. And then interlace your fingers in front of your chest, flip your palms away from you, and push your hands away. Core muscles still engaged, still anchoring down through the base of your spine and through your seat. On an inhale, start to lift your arms, your hands towards the sky. Since our shoulders are coming into flexion, allow the shoulders to slide up towards your ears, but still keep your neck relaxed. If this is too much in the shoulders, you can release your hands or even grab your strap. One more big breath and switch the interlace of your fingers. Stay here for another cycle. Soft jaw, relax your neck. And as you exhale, slowly lower your arms down in front of you and shake the hands and arms out. Now clasp your hands in front of your face, drawing your elbows towards each other as much as you can. Draw your shoulder blades towards each other and then slide them away. So you might notice the subtle movement. We're isolating the shoulder socket. Doing that another time or two. You might think of the shoulder blades as sliding back and forth across the ribs on your back body. And relax into neutral. Elbows might be touching here, forearms might be touching. Inhales, you slowly lift your arms any amount. You might be surprised by how far or not you can go here. Try to lift your elbows to the point of your nose or so, and notice sensation happening in the arms. Try not to bring unnecessary tension into your neck, shoulders, or torso. And as you keep breathing deeply, slowly lower your arms, dropping your elbows towards your navel point. Again, we're isolating the shoulders here. Inhale, lift your arms as high as you can. Exhale, lower them. Once more, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower, and shake out. One more arm exercise. Hands in front of you like you're pushing something away, and then flip your fingers down towards the earth. You can stay just like this, or if you want, bring your right hand to the top of your left hand or fingertips and gently draw towards your chest. So taking our wrists in the opposite direction that they're in when we're supporting ourselves in plank or downward dog. And shake out the left wrist if you opted for the one hand at a time, and switch to your right wrist. Lengthen your arm. One more breath. And then slowly release, shake out if that feels good. Release the blocks if you were seated on them. And then make your way into tabletop. You can always pad under your knees if you'd like. When you arrive in tabletop, since we just gave our wrists that love, let's keep the love going. So try to grip with your fingertips and root down through the base of your index finger and the base of your thumb. Lighten the load on your wrists. Let that be your main goal. Engage your abdominal muscles. Try to drag your knees towards your fingertips. Keep that core engagement. Tuck your toes, big inhale. Exhale, still gripping with the fingertips, float your knees off of the mat, any amount. Hover here. Now explore pushing the ground away with our freshly toned shoulders. You might even round your upper back as we push the ground away, creating as much space between us and the earth as possible. One more breath like this. And exhale, find downward facing dog. Let your heart melt back towards your thighs. Let your head and neck hang heavy. Breathe deeply. One more breath. And on an exhale, lower your knees, find child's pose. Few breaths here. I'll share our quote again. Emily du Chaillet, the French philosopher and mathematician, said, "Let us be certain of who we want to be. Let us choose for ourselves our path in life, and let us try to strew that path with flowers." Inhale deeply, and when you come to your exhale, walk your hands over to the left, big side body stretch. You might come up to your fingertips here, really walking your arms away from your hips. And as you breathe, slowly walk your hands through the midline and over to the right. Breathing will return to neutral. Anchor into your fingertips to the base of your index finger and thumb and slowly rise back up through tabletop. Try to drag your knees towards your fingertips. Keep this core engagement as you pivot on your right knee so the right foot comes off of the mat back behind you, transitioning into a side plank. So you're welcome to keep your right leg grounded. Press into the pinky side edge of your left foot. Send your hips forwards a bit, really gripping with your fingertips. Reach your left hand to the sky and breathe here. If it feels like you've got more in you today, then you might lift your right foot off of the ground, stacking the left foot on top of the right, perhaps. If you try that and decide maybe that's not such a good idea, you can step your left foot forwards. So we can have a kickstand in the front or the back of this side plank. If your wrist is screaming and you simply can't grip with your fingertips any more than you already are, you can also come to a fist. A lot of days, that's the best option for me. Wherever you are, see if you can lift your hips a little higher, having the bottom hip lift up the top hip. Maybe look towards your fingertips on the left hand. One more breath. And as you exhale, wherever you've gone, we're going to return to neutral tabletop. Flip your right palm towards the sky. You might make a fist and release it. Maybe drawing some circles with the torso through the wrist feels good. And then take a few cow and cat, inhaling to drop your belly and look up. And exhaling to round your spine, pushing the ground away, looking towards your navel. And slowly return to tabletop. Try to drag your knees towards your fingertips. Core muscle engaged. Pivot on your left knee so the left foot comes off of the mat. Send your right leg long, transitioning into side plank on the other side. Making the fist if that's what works best for you today. Maybe you stay in half side plank. Maybe you stack the left foot under the right. Maybe you step the right foot forwards. So lots of options. Wherever you go, try to lengthen your spine and lift your hips. Maybe your balance will allow you to look up towards your right thumb. One more breath wherever you've gone. And slowly, slowly release and return to tabletop. Flip your left palm towards the sky, make a fist and release it. Maybe draw some circles with your torso. And return your hand to the earth. On an inhale, left hand to the sky, and on an exhale, thread the needle. You can stay in stillness or you can move with thread the needle, inhaling to lift and exhaling to thread. About 3 more breaths. Keep the connection to the tops of your feet or your toes. And as you're ready, we'll return to tabletop and take it to the other side. Inhaling to reach the right fingertips to the sky and exhaling to thread. One more cycle of breath. And we'll meet back in tabletop. Tuck your toes. Inhale deeply, push the ground away. Exhale, slowly float your knees off of the mat and find your way back to downward facing dog. Let your head and neck hang heavy, and you can stay here, or perhaps you lower your elbows and find dolphin pose. Wherever you are, can you lift your hips a little higher? Maybe that means putting a bend in your knees as you melt your heart back towards your thighs. 3, 2, 1. If you were in dolphin pose, go ahead and plant your hands coming back up to downward facing dog. And on an inhale, look forwards. On an exhale, step yourself to the top of your mat. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale to fold. And inhale to rise all the way up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Inhale, reach out and up. Stay here as you breathe, and perhaps you explore lifting your heels off of the mat, coming onto your toes. See how this balance feels. I positively could not do this 2 days ago, and today it seems to be working. So just a reminder that things change constantly. If we can remember that when we're having strong opinions about our situations, that might be helpful. Another breath wherever you are, however it's going. And when you exhale, lower your heels to the earth and fold forward with a long spine. You can bend your knees anytime. You might look left to right. Breathe deeply. And when you come to an inhale, lift halfway. Long spine, core muscles engaged, supporting your low back. On an exhale, fold forward. And on an inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Inhale, reach to the sky. Core muscles engaged. Exhale, hinge forward. Hands touch down. Step your right foot way back in space. Pause and high runner's lunge. Big breath here. Plant your hands and exhale, step back to plank pose. We'll take a few breaths here. If you'd like, you can transition into side plank on your right hand, taking any variation you like. Also knowing traditional plank or child's pose are always welcome. 3, 2, 1. From wherever you've gone, we'll return to plank. On your exhale, lower your knees, lower your torso. Point your toes back. On an inhale, lift your heart any amount for baby cobra. Perhaps you push into your hands, lifting your heart more for Bhujangasana, more full cobra expression. Wherever you've gone, shoulders are away from the ears. The neck is long. The arms hug the body. One more big breath. And exhale to lower down. Tuck your toes with no breath in the body. Push the ground away and make your way back to downward facing dog. Child's pose is also always welcome. About 5 breaths. We'll practice this in silence and see what you can notice. On an inhale, lift your right heel to the sky, 3-legged dog. Point and flex the ankle, maybe draw some circles. On another inhale, look forward between your hands. Exhale, step or swing your right foot to meet the right thumb. Hi, Toby. Pause. And step yourself to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale to rise all the way up, reaching to the sky. And exhale your hands to your heart. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Hands touch down. Left foot steps way back in space. Pause and high runner's lunge. Plant your hands and step yourself back to plank. Again, you can stay here. You can always lower your knees. You can take child's pose, or you might transition to side plank, Vashisthasana on the other side, taking any variation that works for you. Wherever you go, breathe deeply. Imagine one long line of energy through your body. 3, 2, 1. Slowly, we'll all return to plank, lower our knees, and with an exhale, lower the torso all the way down. Point your toes back, arms hug the side body as we inhale, lengthening the spine and lifting the heart. Good. Perhaps you press your hands into the earth, drawing your heart forwards and up. Maybe you even slide your hands back in space slightly and push the ground away, finding upward facing dog. Wherever we go, our neck is long, our heart is lifted and open. One more breath. With an exhale, we lower back down. Tuck your toes, big breath in, big breath out. Push yourself up through plank or tabletop. Find your way to downward facing dog. 3 to 5 breaths, silent observation. On an inhale, lift your left heel to the sky, point and flex the ankle, maybe draw some circles. Really push the ground away through your hands and arms. Inhale for lots of length. Look forwards, exhale, step or swing that left foot to the left thumb. Inhale here. Exhale, step yourself to the top of the mat, forward fold. You might shake your head out. And on an inhale, slowly rise all the way up, reaching. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale to reach. Exhale, slow swan dive all the way down. When you get there, bend your knees generously and drop your hips all the way to the earth. Sit really tall and lean back in space. Go as slowly as you can. When you're ready, tuck your tailbone and start to roll onto your spine. When you arrive on your spine, cross your right leg over your left and hug your legs in towards your chest. You might rest your hands on top of your shins. Maybe you prefer figure four, or maybe you go for essentially Gomukhasana, cow face pose legs, where we reach towards our ankles. So the left hand is on the right ankle, right hand is on the left ankle. The knees are pretty well stacked, and you might sway side to side. Breathe deeply and see if you can soften your shoulders into the mat and let your back be completely supported here, isolating the hips for the next few breaths. And slowly open your arms out like a T or a cactus. Big breath in. And with your exhale, let your legs fall off to the left side, taking a reclined spinal twist. Make any adjustments needed so that this feels really good to you. One more big breath here. And slowly unwind. Return to neutral. Cross your left thigh over your right and hug your knees in towards your chest. You might put your hands on your knees or shins. Maybe you slide your hands down your legs to the ankles, taking more of a Gomukhasana leg shape. Maybe you rock side to side. Maybe stillness is what feels right. You might notice a difference side to side. About 3 more full breaths. Can you release your shoulders, your back, your head and neck at all? Notice where your mind has gone. Open your arms out. Take a big breath in. And when you exhale, let your legs fall to the right, taking a spinal twist. A couple more breaths in this reclined spinal twist. And as you're ready, slowly release it. You might hug both knees in towards your chest and rock side to side, or take a breath in happy baby. And as you're ready, we'll send our legs long. Flip your palms towards the sky and rest in Shavasana for several cycles of breath, letting the body kind of recalibrate. Let us be certain of who we want to be. Let us choose for ourselves our path in life, and let us try to strew that path with flowers. please linger in Shavasana if you have the time and if that feels right. For our 30-minute practice, we'll go ahead and return to an easy seat and prepare to close by sitting tall, drawing your hands together in front of your heart. Be envisioning yourself, how you'd like to feel over the weekend. And inhale for Om if you'd like. Thank you for sharing your practice and your time.